morning, friends. While we wait for anyone else to join us, I will tell you a silly joke. Let's see. What kind of math do birds love? What kind of math do birds love? Good morning, Susan, and whatever little friends you have with you. Our joke is, what kind of math do birds love? It is algebra. I think that one's funny. Okay, let's see. Let's do some quick stretches. Let's open up our arms wide and give the world a hug. And then wrap our arms around ourselves, gives ourselves a hug. Open up our arms out wide. And give yourself a hug. Let's say good morning to the sun. Good morning, sun. And good morning to our toes. Good morning, toes. And now let's get ready to sing a song. And we're going to sing Bubble Bubble Pop. So we know how that one goes. We have our fish. Put our hands like this. Our fish is swimming in the water. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 fish. And we need a color for each fish. And then after the fish swim, we're going to go bubble, 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 pop. Okay? So let's start with one fish. What color should our fish be? You want to choose the color? Pink? Okay, so let's work our way to pink. So what do we need to make pink? Let's start with one little red fish. One little red fish swimming in the water, swimming in the water, swimming in the water. One little red fish swimming in the water, bubble, 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 pop. So, to make pink we need, let's see, red, we had red, so let's do 2 white fish. 2 little white fish swimming in the water, swimming in the water, swimming in the water. 2 little white fish swimming in the water, bubble, 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 pop. And let's see. So we take 1 plus 2 equals 3. And we take red and white, we mix them up and we get pink. So let's do 3 little pink fish. 3 little pink fish swimming in the water, swimming in the water, swimming in the water. 3 little pink fish swimming in the water, bubble, 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 pop. Okay, we're going to do 4 little fish. Do you know what color do we need to make green? Blue and yellow. And we mix them up. And we're going to make 4 little green fish. 4 little green fish swimming in the water, swimming in the water, swimming in the water. 4 little green fish swimming in the water, bubble, 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 pop. And I love singing that song. I think it's so fun. We're going to get to our first book. But before we do, let's make a book with our hands. And let's take a look at this book. Here is the cover. We open it wide. Here are the pages hidden inside. There are words and pictures. We look and we look, and when we are finished, we close up the book. All right, our first book of the day is called The Awesome, Impossible, Unstoppable Gadget. And this has been written by Kevin and Rebecca Kelly. And thank you to Macmillan Publishing for allowing us to read this story today. Camp Create. Dear Mom, you were right. I love Camp Create. The food isn't bad and the campers are great. And we get to take part in the famous tradition that's known as Gadgets Galore competition. There's one little kid here with talent and spunk, so we call him Professor Von Junk. And he's got an idea for a gadget so clever that everyone wants to help put it together. So Newton, Watson, Babbage, Bell, Hubble, Lovelace, Morse, Nobel, Tycho, and Tesla, all of the rest gave up on their projects to work with the best. Everyone except me. Must be her right there. I think helping is nice, but I want to come up with my own cool device. Dear Mom, I went to the lab to begin, but the room was so crowded I couldn't get in. I tried to speak up to get help from the crowd, but I don't think they heard me. The place was so loud. When Professor Von Junk finally lowered his head, I asked for some tools. And you know what he said? He said, sure, but first I need help with the job. Tighten the knob on that thingamabob. Find me the doohickey. That one's too big. Loosen the screws on that thingamajig. For a second, I wanted to quit and go home. But you're right. I can figure this out on my own. A challenge was made, and I refused to refuse it. What good is a brain if I choose not to use it? Dear Mom, I just realized my cute little cabin's the perfect location to set up a lab in. I made beakers and tubes out of bottles and straws, clippers and grippers from fossilized claws, mechanical arms out of branches and strings, electrical motors from soup cans and springs. Quite clever invention, huh? Battery juice out of sweaty old socks, a dimensional vortex from magnets and clocks. And to give it some sparkle once everything's through, dried macaroni, glitter, and glue. Dear Mom, things have taken a turn for the worse. My invention is working, but it runs in reverse. What happened? Looks like she had a butterfly that turned into a caterpillar. So I went to the lab for advice from the crew, and I noticed a problem with their gadget too. I tried making noises and waving my arms, but nobody noticed my cries of alarm. They continued to work on their wacky machine. Professor Von Junk was all over the scene, adding pipes and propellers, helium tanks and pistons and pulleys and cables and cranks. And the more that they rushed and the more that they hurried, the more that they missed their mistake. I was worried. Dear Mom, here's what happened. Von Junk and his team were about to reveal their enormous machine when they flipped on the speaker and called for attention. Behold the invention to end all inventions! And before I had time to convince him to stop, Professor Von Junk pushed the button on top. Inventions, contraptions, and gadgets galore came firing out till they covered the floor. In less than a minute, the building was shaking with things the inventor was making. Everyone screamed and went running for cover as gadgets like magic invented each other. Gizmos and widgets were flooding the halls, shaking and quaking and breaking down walls, exploding like lava from Gadget volcanoes, and flying like frisbees from Gadget tornadoes. Oh my. And just as I thought they had missed a small glitch, it had an on button, but not an off switch. So I quickly pulled back my gadget out of my pack and raised it and gave it my big button smack. And then everything stopped with the sound of that smack, and all the inventions began to float back, and everyone fleeing from all the commotion began to return in a backward slow motion. Oh yeah, just like her butterfly turned into a caterpillar, she was able to turn this back from a mess into something more civilized, I guess. Everyone fleeing from all the commotion began to return in a backward slow motion. Soon everything settled and fell into place as all of the horrible mess was erased. And you'll never believe it, Mom. I was the champ, and I got a new name from the kids back at camp. I can't wait to tell everybody at school. Kisses and hugs. Love, Professor O'Toole. Oh, that was her new name, Professor O'Toole. That was the awesome, impossible, unstoppable Gadget. That's a fun story. Is that a fun story? Yeah. Let's see. Let's get some wiggles out real quick. Let's sing Bananas Unite. Bananas Unite. You want to stand up and dance with me? And let's peel. Banana. Peel, peel, banana. Peel, banana. Peel, peel, banana. Then we chop. Banana. Chop, chop, banana. Chop, banana. Chop, chop, banana. Then we mash. Banana. Mash, mash, banana. Mash, banana. Mash, mash, banana. Then what do we do next? Eat banana. Eat, eat banana. Eat banana. Eat, eat banana. Then we go bananas. All right, friends, let's get ready to read our next book. This book is called After the Fall, How Humpty Dumpty Got Back Up Again. Do you know that nursery rhyme? Let's say it together. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. So this is after the fall. What happened? Let's find out. This book is written by Dan Santat, and again is thanks to Macmillan Publishing. Let's see. Whoop. There he is on the wall. My name is Humpty Dumpty. This was my favorite spot high up on the wall. I know it's an odd place for an egg to be, but I loved being close to the birds. Then one day I fell. I'm sort of famous for this part. Folks called it the Great Fall, which sounds a little grand. It was just an accident, but it changed my life. Fortunately, all the king's men managed to put me back together. Well, most of me. Oh, I guess they got it worked out. There were some parts that couldn't be healed with bandages and glue. After that day, I became afraid of heights. And I was so scared that it kept me from enjoying some of my favorite things. I walked past the wall every day and I would think about climbing that ladder again. I really missed the birds and being high above the city, but I could never do it because I knew that accidents can happen. I eventually settled for watching the birds from the ground. It wasn't the same, but it was better than nothing. Then one day, an idea flew by. What was that? Looks like a little paper airplane. Making planes was harder than I thought. It was easy to get cuts and scratches, but day after day, I kept trying and trying until I got it just right. Wow, that's a pretty cool plane he made. Looks just like a bird, doesn't it? My plane was perfect, and it flew like nothing could stop it. I hadn't felt that happy in a long time. It wasn't the same as being up in the sky with the birds, but it was close enough. Unfortunately, accidents happen. They always do. What does it look like? What do you think is going to happen? Any ideas? Let's see what happens. I almost walked away again. Oh, it looks like his bird went over the wall. But then I thought about all the time I'd spent working on my plane and all the other things I'd missed. I decided I was going to climb that wall. But the higher I got, the more nervous I felt. And I didn't want to admit it. I was terrified. I didn't look up, I didn't look down, I just kept climbing, one step at a time. Until I was no longer afraid. Wow, he did it! Maybe now you won't think of me as that egg who was famous for falling. Hopefully you'll remember me as the egg who got back up. Wow. And he became a bird. And learned how to fly. That's a beautiful story. Very sweet story. And we got to find out what happened to Humpty Dumpty after that fall. That's a great book. And both of our books talked about sometimes mistakes happen. And that's okay. We learn from those mistakes. We get back up again. So let's do really quickly. Let's do bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as fast as we can.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as slow as we can. Goodbye. Last one. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as nice as we can. Goodbye, friends. Thank you for joining me today. And stay tuned for our video for helping you create your own engineer stash. And we'll see you at the next story time.